Hey guys, I'm a fish guy here from Viking Aquatics. I just had a viewer reach out to me on what to do if your fish tank smells. Now, if a fish tank smells, there's going to be a little bit of an odor to a fish tank or fish room. That's normal. So if you go into like an aquarium store, fish store, pet store, there's always some kind of little bit of an odor. And even if you have your fish tank newly set up, lift up the lid and smell, there's going to be a little bit of an odor to it, but nothing that should be bad smelling to you. So there's a couple key things to look for if the tank smells bad. So first thing to do is make sure there's no discoloration or cloudiness of the water or dead fish. Now with dead snails and dead fish, that can foul up the aquarium really quick and give a real nasty smell to it. So you want to make sure that you're looking for that. Make sure you don't have any missing fish. Make sure nothing's behind the driftwood, stuck in the plants, back up against the filter. So you want to make sure that that is crossed off your list. Next, check your aquarium filter. Do you have a hang on the back filter? If it's a canister filter, you're probably not going to have a smell coming from that because it's fully enclosed, it's sealed. There shouldn't be anything coming out of that. Now with the hang on the back filter, pull out the filter cartridges and check those. If they're slimy, if they're nasty, if they're like brown, like basically the colors they shouldn't be, or have stuff that they shouldn't be, then that's a problem. Especially if you have a lot of uneaten food on the actual filter floss, then that can create a really bad problem with smells. Now, you should be rinsing those like every 2 weeks is what I do, is I pull mine out and I rinse them, put them back in, and usually after a few months I'll replace the charcoal. But the filter floss is probably the most important part of that, to catch some of that big junk and debris. That's what's going to make the smell go really quick. So if you've checked for dead fish, you've checked the aquarium filters and the cartridges, now it might be an ammonia spike. So ammonia spikes can smell, they smell nasty, especially if you have a new aquarium, if you've had a lot of uneaten food, if your fish tank is way too crowded, you haven't done enough water changes, that can lead to an ammonia spike. Now, make sure you test your water if that is a concern of yours. Even if you don't have a test strip or a test kit, run down to your big box stores, bring a water sample, they'll test it for free and at least give you some kind of idea of what's going on. So with the ammonia spikes, you want to make sure that you're doing a water change, you're cutting back on feeding, and researching and looking into stocking your tank and make sure you don't have too many fish in that aquarium. But the usual culprit is not enough water changes and too much feeding. So if you do have an ammonia spike, I usually do a 30 to 40% water change, because the way I look at it is the ammonia that stays in the aquarium is going to be way more harmful to your fish than what that fresh water coming into the aquarium is, even if it's a degree or two off, but it's going to be less harmful to your fish in fresh water than it is still sitting in that ammonia water. Now, every few days I would do at least a 20% water change to make sure that you're getting rid of that, and then use some kind of water conditioner like Brine that's going to detoxify the ammonia and some of the other harmful things in your aquarium. Now, if you've gone through that, no dead fish, your hang on the back filter is all set, you don't have any problems with the water, check above the hood and check around the aquarium to make sure nothing's jumped out, nothing's accumulated on the top of the aquarium lid. Because like I said, it doesn't take much for a fish to jump out and die. I've seen them jump out of the Airline backings, like just that little slot for the Airline tubing on an aquarium hood, and they fall behind the aquarium, on the side of the aquarium, sit behind the light, and the smell gets pretty nasty. So like I said, if you follow all those, you should come to some conclusion on what's making that fish tank smell. But like I said, really watch the feeding. I know a lot of feeding jars and stuff say 3 to 5 times a day, which is nuts. I only feed mine once or twice a day, and you only want to do whatever they're going to consume in 60 seconds. Now, if you have baby fish, they are going to eat more, but they require more water changes. So I guess if you do want to do more feedings, you're just going to have to do more water changes. That's going to be the key to it. So I hope this helps you guys, and I hope this helps you when you sent me this question. I appreciate it. So like I said, if your fish tank smells, check these things. But the biggest one that I'll say to get is Prime water conditioner. It detoxifies a lot of the bad things in the aquarium. I'll put a link down below. It's by Seachem. It's the one chemical that I use in all my aquariums. You just can't beat it. So, thank you guys for watching. Check out the rest of my videos. Hit that subscribe button.